to raise your hand at any point, and then once selected, be sure and unmute yourself to ask.
Take a look at that.
For those who have just joined us, our first press conference from Game 7 will be the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll have student athletes Mackenzie Donahue and pitcher Giselle Juarez. And following that, we'll have head coach Patty Casso. Welcome to raise your hand at any point prior to the start of the press conference. And then once selected, please unmute yourself.
Weird.
This is the Game 7 press conference featuring the Oklahoma Sooners. We're joined by student athletes Mackenzie Donahue and pitcher Giselle Juarez. We will start with questions for our student athletes from James Hale.
I have one for both. Great job, G. Thought that was the best you've thrown since since you first got to OU. So it's obvious you're healthy. Patty talked about great practices. Could you talk about what kind of stuff you had? And Mackenzie, talk about the 24 hours that you had to get ready and how this team's offensive mindset seemed to set up for you and change in this game.
Start with G, please.
Honestly, our hitters just make me better. So just going up against them every day at practice is something that I have to find new ways, and they make me better every day by just competing against me. So I think that's why I did what I did today.
Mackenzie?
I would say that Thursday we weren't ourselves, and we have no mercy. This is our game on the line. We have to push, and we switched it and turned it on, and it was so much fun.
Ryan Chapman.
Yeah, my question's for Giselle. Obviously, just due to the great performances last week, you didn't get in during the Supers. How did it feel to get back out there today? Did you feel well rested, or was it almost like you were rearing and ready to go?
I felt really good today. I just went out there and had fun, and when they're hyping you up, that's all you want to do is just go out there and do your thing and compete for them. So it felt really good today.
Joey Hillmer.
Yeah, Mackenzie, you were perfect at the plate today. Obviously had the home run. Just how good were you feeling in the box and as kind of being the igniter for the offense today?
I felt control of my bat. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what she was going to throw me, and we went. So let's go.
Ryan Aber.
Yeah, this question for Giselle. What was this week like for you? Did you feel as good as Patty talked about you looking heading into this? And then just what was working for you today?
Yeah, I'd like to think I felt as good as Coach said. I just let it go. Just got out there and competed even at practice. And the same thing today. I was just trying to be in the driver's seat of the game and controlling myself and just trusting my defense and my hitters and just getting outs for them.
A quick follow to that, if you don't mind, your defense, the plays in the fourth and fifth to end it, or the fifth wasn't to end it, that second out that Grace made. How important were those, and just talk about those two plays?
Oh, those super important, obviously, but just really game-changing. We kept the momentum based off those plays and just heads-up plays, and I think that's just something they do every day at practice is just practicing to be heads-up, and they just executed today.
Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
Barry Trammell.
Yeah, for both of you girls, you now played 2 games in the new stadium configuration with the upper deck and the packed stadiums. How is the atmosphere different, do you think, with the new look of the venue?
Start with Mackenzie, please.
I don't really pay attention to that. I pay attention to my teammates and the way we keep each other up, and all that stuff doesn't really matter. It's if we're united and together.
G.
100% agree with that. I know for myself in the top of the 6th, I don't remember, or bottom or whatever, I was on the mound or before the inning had actually started, and my teammates got their areas up, and it was kind of cool to just hear it, especially because it is at 100% capacity. But I think it's like what Mackenzie said, just being united and just staying focused on us.
Austin.
Yeah, hi. My question's for both of you guys. After dropping Thursday's game, how does today's performance kind of give you guys the confidence moving forward to win these next 3 games?
Start with G, please.
We just have to get back to playing our game, and I think that's what we did in this first game. And we just have to continue to fight and fight for each other, and just understanding that it's fun, it's a grind, and just continue to be fearless and play with passion and just enjoying every moment when we're out there.
Mackenzie.
I would totally agree with G, and it's awesome to have each other's back, because if you have each other's back, no one's going to stop you, no matter what.
Chandler.
Hey, this is a question from Mackenzie. A few weeks ago, Patty Casso credited JT Casso for how well this team has been hitting on the year. That's not too surprising, but after last game, you guys struggled, didn't hit the ball as well as you wanted to. How much credit would you give him to today's performance?
I would say that we were ourselves today. We didn't try too hard. We just went out there and played our game. And when we play our game, I feel like we're unstoppable.
All right, last one for our student athletes, Josh Callaway.
Yeah, it's for Mackenzie. It seemed like after your long AB in the home run in the second inning, it kind of opened the floodgates for you guys. Did you kind of sense that almost once you hit that home run, everybody kind of relaxed a little bit and the at-bats got better? Because it seemed like after that, it was every single inning getting runners on base, hitting home runs.
I honestly thought it was too high and it wasn't going to go over. But it went over, and I knew that once we got a run on, we were going to keep pushing, get another run for G, because she was pitching a great game, and that's all we needed to do is just keep pushing and put another run on.
Mackenzie G, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joined now by head coach Patty Casso. Coach, how do you think your team answered the bell in terms of just energy for today's game?
I couldn't imagine it being much better. I mean, actually, we came out a little bit slow offensively, just trying to feel things out. I tried to push the envelope a little bit and got runners in motion a bit more, just to force some of them to have to swing the bat. It worked out really well for Lou. Worked out really well for Hanson. I don't need to mess with Jossie. She handles her business. Defensively, I thought we were spot on, but most of all, Giselle. Seeing Giselle handle herself on this big stage when she's gone through some ups and downs this season, it's really one of the highlights of this weekend.
Austin?
Yeah, Patty, just wanted to follow up on that with Giselle. Just speak on, what that performance means for her after the injury she suffered and, not pitching since the Norman.
I think it will be a lasting memory in her career. It has been a tough year for her. I think she just really wanted to be the pitcher that she used to be, and it just didn't come as naturally as she expected. And I think sometimes she was just trying so hard it didn't work right for her. And maybe these last couple weeks she didn't get to pitch quite as much, and I think it just settled her mind, like, why am I even standing in the bullpen waiting to be called? Because I've been kind of messing with my mind a bit. And I think she really cleared that out and got right with herself, and she had really good practices the last couple weeks, and this is what showed today. So I'm very pleased, but I wasn't really surprised because I saw her doing it against her own teammates in the last week or so.
Brian Aber?
Yeah, Patty, staying with Giselle. When did you decide to start her in this game? When did you tell her? What was the reaction? And just what do you feel like worked for her today?
Coach Rocha and I talked about it last night, and I felt very strong, as did she, that we thought Giselle was the right matchup. Giselle pitched against them the game that we lost and threw really well. So we were not afraid to put her out there today, but we also knew that we have to. If we want to make a deep run, we've got to have these three pitchers ready to go. Coach Rocha talked to Giselle and told her last night, so she knew. I wasn't there for the reaction, but she wouldn't be overly excited. I think she would be hopeful that she was getting it. What was working today was just a mix of speeds, kind of hitting really good spots, keeping them guessing. You could see them really chasing stuff up out of the zone and then just kind of not surprised, but not quite ready for some of her off speed. So she had a really great mix today.
Ryan Chapman.
Hey, Patty, I'm asking you to look just a little bit forward to tonight, if you would. Obviously, you got about 3.5 hours. What's that time look like between now and UCLA, and how difficult was it to prepare for Georgia and UCLA, knowing that you had to beat Georgia? It didn't really matter.
We put all of our focus on Georgia because if you start looking ahead, then you're going to get burned. So we know enough about UCLA that we can go back and get ourselves prepared. We've had experiences with them in the past. We know they're a great hitting team. We know that they have the best pitcher in the country. So this is going to be definitely a challenge, but we really didn't get locked into much of that. We couldn't. On Friday, we were working with our machines and some of our execution that would align with either Alabama or UCLA, because you really didn't know. When we were hitting, we didn't know who we were going to play. So this is going to be just purely creating a plan, executing a plan, understanding it, trusting it, and leaving it on the field. That's all we can do here.
Abby Bitterman.
Yeah, Patty, I just wanted to ask you about Mackenzie Donahue's performance. She doesn't always get the start out there in left field. Just what do you, and I believe this is also her first Women's College World Series, so just what do you think of the job that she did today, especially at the plate?
Yeah, she's been waiting very patiently and understanding. It's not always easy. There's some other athletes that are dealing with kind of the same thing. But it's about matchups, and this matchup was really good for her. And she's kind of pretty clutch in times where, like, I was calling a run and hit, our runner was going, and if she wanted the pitch, she's hitting it. And I think about every time except the last at bat, we called the same thing. And I think that really energized our team as well, because it was just really clutch style offense that we were producing with Lou, and energized the team. So she's been waiting her turn, and she's going to get more opportunities as long as they align with her swing. But she was the catalyst today, and I know that was really exciting for her and the rest of our team.
Joey Hillmer.
Yeah, Patty, I just want to ask you about the sixth inning, bottom of the sixth inning there. G obviously could have finished it. I'd assume you pulled her out to kind of get her a little reception from the crowd. Was that the case?
No. I'm happy they did that, but this was really more about getting Nicole May on the mound before we start tonight. It was really important. Even if it was for two hitters, she had to feel the energy of the crowd and the environment before we keep rolling here. So it was purely for that reason.
Last one for Coach Chip Towers.
Coach, obviously you have bigger fish to fry now, but just wondering about Georgia. Obviously they're a very young team. You played them earlier this year. I think their entire starting lineup comes back except for Mary Wilson Avant. Just some observations on them as they head back home.
I'm always a fan of Georgia's ball club and Lou Harris and Tony and the job that they do with young talent. They develop it really well. They are fighters. They fight. Very uncomfortable coming into this game because I knew what it was like playing against them. They're scary. They can swing and they can hit it out at any time. They're very rally-oriented. And Avant is something special. She really is. She is an outstanding pitcher, one of the better pitchers we face, without question. So I respect their program, and I gave Lou a big hug because she helped us get better, and I hope we helped her get better back in early April or late March, whatever it was. So for us to see each other here was a cool moment, and I know they'll be back. I know her, and I know her ball club. They'll be back here.
Coach Casso, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. We'll see you later tonight.
Okay, thank you guys.
This is the Game 7 press conference featuring the Georgia Bulldogs. We are joined by Lacey Fincher and head coach Lou Harris-Camper. Questions, would like to begin with questions for Lacey, but certainly willing to entertain questions for coach as well. Start with Chip Towers.
Yeah. Hey, Lacey. I'll start with you, and we'll talk to Lou later, I guess. But just such a magical surge you guys had to get here. I know it's got to hurt to go out at any time. But can you kind of put the season into perspective? Obviously, this is a young squad, and you're among a bunch who could come back next year. So what's the takeaway with what you guys were able to do in the postseason and get here?
Yeah, I think we had a great season. We learned a lot throughout this season. We had our ups and downs, but through our downs, we just took away what was good. What did we learn from in that, game, or what did we learn from in that practice? And we just kept growing and kept trusting each other and kept trusting our process. And I just think, this team is gritty. The Georgia Bulldogs are the definition of grit. And, you have players like Mary Wilson, who is just a baller. She goes out there every single day and gives it her all. Ellie Armistead, one of our freshmen, I just can't think anything bad about her. She just is such a good player and such a good human and a just beautiful person to have on your team. As in, she just loves everyone. She loves the game, loves the sport. And, I can't wait to see what this team has for their future. And we're definitely going to miss our seniors. But I'm proud of where we came and where we're at right now.
James Hale.
Coach, great run and everything that you had going at Georgia this year. I know that you felt like you had to control the Oklahoma offense in this game. They got it going. Talk about your game plan, because you're one team that had beaten them this year.
Well, it was a similar game plan, but you have to tip your hat. Oklahoma is a very, very good team. They're very talented and deep. Wore us through a fantastic game today against us. All I can say is I am just, again, like Lacey said, so proud of our team. I think that no one wants to come up short. At the end of the day, nobody wants to be sitting here not getting the win. But what I can say is, from where this team started to where they have ended this season, I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of them. And so thankful for Mary and our seniors and everything that they've done for this program this year in their leadership. And again, mostly just the way the team really just stood up in the face of adversity and continued to compete together, to compete as one with great team chemistry.
Chip, you have a question for Coach?
Sorry, let me unmute there. God forbid I let you catch your breath here after this season has ended. But, it's not hard to look down your roster and see, 13 freshmen and sophomores and so many underclassmen in that starting lineup. Besides Mary Wilson Avant, obviously that's a big deal, losing her. But is the takeaway here on how important was this for the future of all these girls that are coming back, and what are you going to do about pitcher next year, right?
Well, pitching will come along. It usually does. Again, you can't say enough about Mary and what she did for our team this year, the way she really just put us on her back and went to work. But yes, the future looks really bright. So many youngsters out there. They have grown so much. Again, I can't say enough about the chemistry and the trust of each other and the want to with and for each other. And I think that is the strength of the team moving forward. And yes, this experience was amazing for them, and this team will only continue to get stronger.
Mary Trammell.
Yeah, Lou, you go back quite a ways with this tournament, back to the days of much smaller stadium. Out there these last 2 days with the expansion of the upper deck, how has the atmosphere changed?
Well, the atmosphere is awesome. I love the additions to the stadium. Again, quick shout out to OKC and to everyone who has done this for the sport of softball. It's absolutely beautiful. My first time here was quite a few years ago, and it was grassy hills down both sides and just little stands in the back. It's come so far. Love the commitment to the sport. It's only going to get better, bigger, and better. So much is due with ESPN and all they do for our sport. And, the venue's beautiful. Again, I can't say enough about it. It has changed so much. The sport's really growing, and it's awesome for the sport of softball.
Mike Griffith?
Yeah, Lacey, you did have some success against Juarez. Can you talk about what you had to do to hit her successfully and what she had working? It looked like 4 or 5 pitches just watching on TV were hitting their spots.
Yeah, I give it to the girl. She's a great pitcher. But, I just came up there with the mindset of do me, be free, and have fun. Just kind of working my process, keeping a deep window, and getting my swing off when I can.
Mark Weiser?
Lou, the Oklahoma coach was talking about how you guys are capable of hitting it out, anytime that you're at the plate. Obviously, what was going on with the matchup today with that made it so difficult to play like that? I know Jaden had one to the warning track.
Yeah, I think, again, you have to say Juarez pitched a really good game. She had a little different game plan than she had the first time against us, and you got to give it to her. When she needed big pitches, she made them. I think we had a couple opportunities to break through, but again, when she needed big pitches, she made them.
Eric Lopez?
For both of you, when you look back at this season, this last year with everything, not only the challenges on the field, but even off the field with the protocols and everything, what will you take from this year, this incredible run for both of you, starting with you, Coach?
I am so proud of the team. This was difficult, coming back from having to do practice a different way and really stay separated. And, it was really weird early in the season where we had to stand apart and stand in little pods. Really just proud of the way that the girls, stayed pretty much in our bubble. And then we were able to eventually move into just playing softball the way we always play it. But that was allowed because they were able to do such a good job off the field. Again, it was a off year when it comes to that. It was just so different. But the joy comes in with the team and the way that they decided to battle together. And I can't be more proud of the girls, the way that they handled the situation, the way that they've grown together through it, and the way that they competed this season. This Team 25 is a very special team. I've been telling them that from day one. Win, lose, or draw, they've got greatness inside them and greatness ahead of them.
Lacey?
Yeah, I would agree with what Coach said. It was really difficult at the beginning of the season. Just, staying apart from your teammates and not being able to be in the locker room at the beginning of the season. And just throughout the season, we just got used to it. And we just said, let's find a way to make this work, find a way to find joy on the field when we can and be positive. And I think we really did a great job of doing that. And it just, throughout the season, it just made us closer even though we were farther apart. And so I can't say enough about Team 25, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
Any additional questions for Georgia? Yes, Mark.
Lacey, does the disappointment of this one, do you put that away pretty fast, knowing that how far you guys have come this season and how young you guys are in terms of, looking ahead to next year?
Yeah, I think you can't dwell on the negative things. Yes, it's not fun losing, but nobody wants to lose. And I think that this team has great potential in the future, and we just got to keep our heads high and keep looking forward. I'll give another shout out to Mary Wilson. That I didn't want her to end like that, but she pitched a great game, and she just is a great person in general. She's going to do so many good things in life, and I'm proud of her, and I'm proud to be her friend, and I just can't wait to see what life takes her.
Chip Towers?
Yeah, for Lou, the great coaches get. You've been here a bunch of times. You're a great coach. So I'm wondering. I know how bad you want to win this. To get to the top step, and so. How are you feeling on that front? Is this a building thing, or you just take it year by year and you're blessed to get where you are? Is that something that you're really, chopping, trying to get that tree knocked down?
Yeah, that's that's the ultimate goal, and that's every year, you know, we talk about that's what we're here for, is to compete for national championship, to fight for Georgia. And I believe that this team has the potential to do that. We control that destiny, we control our mindset, and we control our ability to compete in that moment. And we will continue to grow and compete for that.
All right, last question for the Bulldogs from Mike Griffith.
Yeah, Coach, I was just going to follow Chip there, just as far as, you know, what your teams take from these World Series appearances. You've had a few of them here in the last 4 or 5 years. How valuable is it to have been on this stage?
I think it's unbelievable. It's an awesome experience, and it's only going to motivate the girls to go work harder, to continue to grow their mindset, to stay positive, and to focus on what they want. And most importantly, I think the true definition of chemistry this year, you know, that it is something you fight for, it's something you cherish, and it's something that you keep no matter what. And I'm so proud of the team for their ability to stay focused with great chemistry and to fight for and with each other. And I think that will take us very far in the future.
Lacey, Coach, thank you so much for all your time this week. We greatly appreciate it. And we appreciate the great role models you are for the game of softball.
Thank you, and thanks for all you do for the sport.